This whole planning process that we're greenhousing here begins with we're really serious about this first part. That's why you're all here, and you flew here, and you drove here, and you went to all this effort to be here, because this is the piece that we as a field nationally, from the 40 years that the National Endowment of the Arts has been doing this work, we've not done this part well. Across the country. Maybe you guys might have done it really well, but mostly this happens on the fly or with a phone call, and it can be anywhere from the two extremes. The artist comes in and says, here's what I'm going to do. Or the artist meets the teacher and they say, no, here's what you're going to do. It's just like bossing each other. So this is not what a collaborative residency is about. It's about finding out what's possible, what's the magic of the work, what can we do before and after the residency, because we want to integrate this into the fabric of the schools and have something that is left behind. So that's why the pre-residency teaching, if you will, something happens in the classroom. It could happen once a week before the artists get there. It could happen for a week before the artist gets there. It could happen however you want it to happen. And then the residency itself happens. And that may happen over time or in a tight time frame. It really depends on geography at that point, is pretty much one of the indicators. And then once the residency is winding down, there is a deliberate opportunity to reflect on, wow, did you notice these kids? What did we see? What did we get from the kids? What did we hear them say? This is a cool thing about having an artist in the classroom. There's two of you watching kids. While the artist is doing something, you can be noticing some things about children, and vice versa. So part of it is this reflection. If we don't talk about what we're seeing and getting, we can't tell the story. So one of the goals of this greenhouse project is to have you feel comfortable enough with each other, you can just talk about what you see without judgment. You know, it's not about us. Oh, let's all say that together. It's not about us. Who's it about? The kids and their learning. This is the other thing that we've done for 40 years, and I'm not saying Idaho has, but nationally, with these residencies, we have told the story of what we did. First I went in, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then she did that, and then I did this, and I did that. And aren't you excited about that? And the public says, we don't care about that. Show me the kid. Show me the kid who's going to live next door to me when I'm retired, and how they're a better person as a basis of how your school's doing. How schools are judged is how kids are in the world. So our job is to tell that story, not what we did, but what they were like as a result. And what's one of the best ways to find out about impact of an experience on a child? Ask them. Ask them. Ask them, and then one other thing, ask them, and may I have this, I'm going to record this. Ask them, would you speak into the microphone? Ask them in a deliberate way. Kids love this. Oh, sure, I'll speak into the microphone. You know, so that's all part of the work we're trying to do. Listen to kids, talk to kids, document their story. So one of the problems that we do in the arts, and we all do this, is we have all this messy learning going on in the classroom that nobody ever sees. Kids talking, kids collaborating, kids risk-taking, kids being kinesthetic, kids delegating. Interesting things that are going on. And then what we do is we invite the public in, and we clean the kids all up, and we put, you know, the lights on low and a formal program, and the school's all clean, and everybody looks all shiny. And then this thing happens. And then we hear out in the foyer, the parents are saying things like, he gets that from his auntie. She's so talented. He is so talented. Talented. What about all the work that we did as teachers to get these things to happen? I want to map this residency, and it'll give an example of how you will then be planning your residencies. Mapping backwards from collecting evidence of learning. So you can't think about this later. You have to plan this evidence collection today, because otherwise it'll be too late, and it will have already happened, which is the story of all our careers. Ooh, I wished I had I wished I'd kept that. I wished I had that. You should have been there. You should have heard the kids. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Now we're going to do it.